Mark, let's start with the BOJ. We're looking ahead to the BOJ tomorrow. We, of course, have been through 155. We're still through 155 on dollar yen. What's the game plan? What are you hearing people saying is the game plan as you head into tomorrow?
So I think the vast majority of the macro discretionary market are not short yen and are looking for intervention tomorrow, and there are a lot of the market is buying short-dated downside dollar yen puts on this idea that, hey, we might get a US data surprise tonight. US GDP tonight might come in strong. Atlanta GDP now is reading 2.7% for a 2.5% expectations, so we might get a hot print there. Higher yields, higher dollar yen into BOJ. BOJ obviously it disappoints tomorrow, and then what we see is the MOF has to come in and Friday afternoon to intervene when it will have max power, and we've got precedent for that, of course, happening before only a couple of years ago, and therefore dollar yen will come much lower. But ultimately, most of the macro discretionary market probably wants to sell yen again if we do get that intervention. For myself, all this narrative makes sense, except I'm slightly worried we may not even get the intervention. I think that it's very, very hard for the MOF to come in when the US narrative has not yet turned. And so I think that's where there might be disappointment in that narrative.
OK, there could be disappointment there then. What about the chances that they don't do intervention but they do a rate hike instead?
Look, I think the risk-reward is to bet on a hawkish surprise because there's nothing priced. And, you know, look, our colleague Simon Flint has done this excellent analysis saying, look, they really should be hiking now by everything, kind of all the analytical thinking, all the economic thinking. The problem is everyone tells me knows the BOJ is it's too political. Without the communication, without the guidance, they cannot hike tomorrow. So it's likely that, you know, they will probably disappoint on those few people betting on a rate hike. And really what we're going to get on the guidance of whether it's a hawkish or dovish surprise will depend on their forecast. It'll depend on their long-term inflation forecast, what level they come in at. Do they show sustainable inflation, or do they show they're still worried that they need to provide more easing to this economy?